Hello, me handsomes, and we are back for another Oscars week build-up. I did initially say I was going to do this all on the same day, but actually I'm going to do it on a couple of different days because, but today we're looking at historical films. Yesterday we promised historical films. So again, these are a little bit crossover films sometimes. Some of them are a bit biopic-y, which is going to be a whole separate category. Some of them are a bit war filmy, which again, another category. But this is just what I've kind of included as part of it there. In particular, we're looking at events more than anything, as opposed to people. However, some of them are obviously named after people or surrounded by people. So we're going to start this one. So at number 5 is Titanic, the massively Oscar-winning film by James Cameron back many years ago now. Titanic. Now, I'm not a big fussed on the romance part, but the sinking part especially is a fantastic scene. It's not meant to obviously be a nice scene, but it is a fantastically good scene. Some amazing acting involved in it, and some, well, you almost say good action involved in it. Just the drama that's involved with it, but you know, it's a very good, strong film. And of course speaks for itself of how well it's aged as well. You can still watch it and still appreciate it for a film that came out probably 30 years ago or however long it was, and is still doing very well. It's kind of one of those Harry Potter-esque films, so even though it's old, it's the effects and everything still hold up today, or even better than some films today. So that's number 5 is Titanic. At number 4, if I can get my list back up, is The Darkest Hour. Winston Churchill based one. Now again, this is where you could argue it's a bit of a war biopic, but I'm putting it in historic films because it's not made the biopic list or the war list. About Winston Churchill's kind of reaction to the war and how he progressed Britain into it. Now obviously it starts kind of with Dunkirk, and him arguing to obviously have the troops removed. A bit more of a political side of this one than any other film of its type, where different people are trying to get him to do different things, and he's undecided of which route he wants to go down. So he, speaks to the king, speaks to his advisors. You had Lord Halifax, who's asking for peace talks with Germany and Hitler, which Churchill, played amazingly by Gary Oldman, doesn't want that. So it's a really good story there, and just some unbelievable acting from Gary Oldman to play Winston Churchill. My only kind of criticism of it, maybe didn't get the voice right. Gary Oldman's got quite a high voice, probably similar to myself a little bit, and Winston Churchill had that deep booming voice. So that's kind of my only thing, but yeah, unbelievable acting, really good film, absolutely love it. And of course then it ends with his fantastic "We'll fight them on the beaches" speech, which if you're British you'll know is one of our most important speeches probably ever raised at the House of Parliament. So a very good film, highly recommend watching it if you have not seen it. And of course it did, I'm pretty sure it won him the Oscar. Let me have a Google of this. Gary Oldman Oscar. Did he win the Oscar for it? He won Best Actor for The Darkest Hour. Yeah, that's how good it is and how good he is. Don't know what the competition was then in 2017, but he won it. So that was really cool. At number 3, again, it's wartime. It's The Imitation Game. Now again, you could argue this is a bit of a biopic around Alan Turing, but I'm looking at it more of it's about the Enigma situation and how the team, led by Alan Turing, you could argue, broke the Enigma code and helped Britain win the war, basically. Again, fantastically played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Had a really good array of actors in it. Keira Knightley's in it as well. And just a really strong cast involved as well. Has very good dramatic scenes. Has kind of everything you really want in it. Other than the war, there's not much war part in it. It's during wartime, of course. And they make obviously numerous references to it, but you don't really see any of the war part, which isn't a bad thing, I think, in this case. It kind of separates the two and shows the importance of how the decisions they made affected the other side of it, which you don't really see, which I really like. But yeah, a fantastic film, very dramatic. It's funny how they kind of make a film about people basically cracking a puzzle and a code so dramatic and made so well. Especially when you get to the hurrah moment and he does crack it. Fantastic scene there. So that's that one. At number 2. Now this is a bit more of a war film and involves war in it, but we're going with Schindler's List. An incredibly powerful, very good Steven Spielberg film. Liam Neeson playing Oskar Schindler. It has Ben Kingsley in it as well. Ralph Fiennes as well, who I want to say fantastically played a horrible Nazi officer, but at the same time you don't want to say fantastically, but he was very good in the role. It made you very much dislike him, which is what you need from a good villain. Yeah, obviously the story of how Oskar Schindler shielded Jewish people who were working in Auschwitz from dying by making them work for him, but obviously it wasn't really work, and kind of frauded the Germans into thinking that he was kind of on their side and stuff like that, a good businessman, saving hundreds of Jews in the process. And obviously this is known as his list. A very, very good film. Some horrific scenes in it, but a very, very good film, very well made, a fantastic score involved, a very emotional film, just a very good film. It's an understatement. It's one of the top 10 films of all time. Is not an understatement there. It's a fantastic film. So that's number 2. At number 1, we've got the big one, and I absolutely love this film, and of course it won Daniel Day-Lewis another Oscar, is Lincoln. Now again, this is a bit more of a biopic, but it's a later biopic. I like to think of biopic as, start to finish. This is a bit of a later part of Lincoln, mainly about him getting slavery banned, effectively, making it illegal to own slaves. And of course this led to the Civil War and stuff like that. Very good film. Daniel Day-Lewis is incredible in it. You forget sometimes it is an actor, and you actually start depicting him as a Lincoln-esque character. But yeah, he's very good in it. Unbelievable acting, a fantastic story, and again they make it very dramatic, very powerful. Talks about his own kind of issues as well going on, how he's lost some sons, his wife is starting to lose her mind, allegedly, because there's no real understanding with it, with grief probably, but she suffered quite badly with it, and it's about his real push to end slavery and how they kind of, not manipulated, but how they kind of worked that through government to try and get some of the Democratic Republicans who are now the Democrat Party to try and agree to it, and the Republican Party, which is Lincoln, to who were all agreeing to it anyway. But it was a bit of a 50-50 split, so they had to get some of the others to sign for it. Again, fantastic film, some massive actors. Daniel Day-Lewis, of course. You have, I can't think of his name now, Kay from Men in Black. It just suddenly slipped my mind what he's called. Tommy Lee Jones, that's his name, is in it. There's a load of other actors in it who you would recognise from nowadays. It's fantastic, but yeah, unbelievable film. I would strongly suggest watching it. But that's effectively my top 5 historical films. Now tomorrow, what should we look at tomorrow? I've got a big list here at the moment of what we're kind of working towards. So we've looked at Disney, we've looked at sports, we've just looked at historic films. Let's go tomorrow with comedies, shall we? Yeah, let's go teen comedies. Teen comedies we'll go for, and I will explain tomorrow what that looks like. But tough watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it that thumbs up, and we'll see you again soon.